I am Karl Konrad, an immigration specialist with over 23 years of experience in helping people achieve their dreams of obtaining visas to work, travel, study and migrate permanently to Australia. Today we're going to visit the Tasmanian state sponsorship requirements for the 190 visa. This is of course a permanent residency program. We will soon cover the 491 visa requirements, hopefully next week, and then we'll move on to Victoria and South Australia. For the subclass 190 Tasmanian nomination, you have three pathways for the 2022 to 2023 program year. We have the Tasmanian Skilled Employment Pathway, the Tasmanian Skilled Graduate Pathway, and the Tasmanian Established Residency Pathway. You will notice, of course, the 190 sponsorship requirements are focused upon those who are in Tasmania. Thus, it is not open to offshore applicants. If you are offshore, you'll need to check out the 491 visa nomination requirements. Today, we will cover the minimum requirements of each of these three pathways. Tasmania now has the most complicated set of selection criteria we have ever seen in the last 23 years. Not only is there a minimum requirement that must be met, you will have what is called priority attributes. Now, the government says that these so-called priority attributes are not essential, but in their supporting document it states, meeting the minimum requirements does not mean you will be nominated. You can register your interest, but you will need some other characteristics, mainly priority attributes. There are three priority attributes and they will give you certain passes in the competitive ranking process. They are the gold pass, the green pass, or the orange pass. Obviously, gold is the best type of pass to obtain. Green comes in close behind, and if you're using the orange pass, then as the color suggests, you are in danger of perhaps not receiving an invitation at all. The most competitive candidates are only invited to apply for a nomination. The priority passes criteria vary depending upon which pathway you are considering. You'll see what I mean as we go along. Now, don't forget to check out Tasmania's website, for there is additional information regarding the fine print on many of these requirements. We are also here to help talk you through it by booking a time to consult with us if you need assistance. Tasmanian Skilled Employment Pathway. This pathway requires you to be living and working in Tasmania. Your employment must be in an occupation on the Tasmanian Onshore Skilled Employment Occupation List, known as the TOSOL. Yes, you're right, there is a E missing, and maybe that will come later. Now, for this pathway, you must be employed in Tasmania for 6 months, at least a minimum of 20 hours a week, before your application is lodged. Your employment can be closely related to your nominated occupation. There must be a genuine ongoing need for your employment in the business, and you can be self-employed as a subcontractor if you demonstrate at least 12 months of business activity in Tasmania. You must be currently living in Tasmania and intend to continue living in Tasmania, and your dependents must not be living in another Australian state or territory. The great change has been the introduction of the 20 hours per week requirement from the old 35 hours per week. Now, of course, this means that it's possible that students, while studying in Tasmania, could obtain skilled work at the same time. Now, be careful of Tasmania's definition of closely related, for it is different to how the Immigration Department defines the term. There are many priority attributes requirements, and we will not bore you by going through all of them one by one. You can see them on the screen here, so just hit the pause button and take a good look. Tasmanian Skilled Graduate Pathway. You must have completed a course full-time on a campus in Tasmania. The course must be CRICORS registered and for at least 92 weeks. Your course of study must be an AQF 5 diploma or higher. It can be at least Certificate 3 related to an ANSCO Major Group 3 or 4 occupation. In relation to multiple courses, they are acceptable, but only under the following conditions. Those courses are combined or result in the award of an overall qualifications. For example, a combined Certificate 3 and 4 commercial cookery that lasts at least 92 weeks combined. Enrollment in all courses must have occurred at the same time, and confirmation of enrollments issued together. There must be no break between the courses other than the standard term breaks. There must also be a genuine progression between all courses in the package. In addition to this study requirement, you must have lived in Tasmania for at least 2 calendar years from the start of your course. Tasmanian PhD candidates who have not completed an undergraduate degree in Tasmania are eligible in this pathway after living in Tasmania and completing at least 2 years of their PhD discipline in Tasmania. And of course, you must be currently living and continue to be living in Tasmania. You can see on the screen there are a number of priority attributes for this pathway. Please pause the video and have a read through them carefully. Tasmanian Established Resident Pathway. The basic requirement is to have lived in Tasmania for at least 3 years, with no more than 50% of your total Australian residency period spent in another Australian state or territory, and one of the following. Currently be employed in Tasmania on an ANSCO skill level occupation 1 to 3, including a cumulative 12 of the last 24 months with a minimum of 20 hours per week. Currently be employed in Tasmania, including a cumulative 18 months in the last 3 years in an ANSCO skill level 4 or 5 occupation, a minimum of 20 hours per week on average. Have operated a business for at least the last 2 years with a taxable earnings equivalent to the temporary skilled migration income threshold, currently at $53,900. Again, there are those lovely priority attributes that are tailored to this pathway, so please take your time and check them out by pausing the screen. Now that you know about the pathways and the requirements, let's take a look at how to apply for the Tasmanian 190 nomination. Tasmania is now using the registration of interest pathway for potential applicants. You must first register an expression of interest on the Immigration Department Skills Select system. Then register your ROI on the Tasmanian Government's website portal called the Migration Tasmanian Gateway. The registration is free and valid for 6 months. Based on the information you will provide, you will receive one of the 3 passes, which, as we explained before, is gold, green or orange. If you get a gold pass, then the good news is that you can lodge your application immediately. If you receive a green pass, you may receive your invitation within 6 to 8 weeks. And if you received an orange pass, you may be invited to apply for the nomination within the next 6 months, depending on the interest volume. If you did not receive an invitation within 6 months, your registration would expire, leaving you to apply for another nomination invitation. There is also one more pass, by the way, which is the red pass. And as you can already guess, receiving a red pass means that you did not meet the minimum requirements for a nomination and you would not be able to register your interest. The key to a successful application to Tasmania is the preparation of your documents, so make sure that you have given all the required documents necessary for your particular pathway. The fees for the nomination application are $220, which is not refundable. Once your nomination is approved, usually on the same day, you will receive an invitation from the Immigration Department to lodge your visa application. If you need advice on any of these issues or anything related to immigration matters, please book a time to consult with us by visiting our website at australiavisa.com. Come follow us on Facebook as well and look at our blog pages for fascinating information stored there. As always, thanks for watching and take care out there, and I'll see you next time. So bye for now.